सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। So we finished verse 11 last time of Bhagavad Gita, and the 11th verse says, in whatever way men approach me, even so do I reward them. My path do men tread in all ways, O son of Pritha. So basically he said that not everybody desires moksha. They just approach me for different things, and whatever they desire I provide them. So the way we have to understand it, whatever you strive for, ये नहीं कि डिज़ायर मतलब ये नहीं कि कभी कभी हम लोग को थोड़ा कन्फ्यूजन हो जाता है डिज़ायर से कि भाई वो मेरे मन में जो डिज़ायर है मुझे मिल जाएगा, उसके लिए काम भी करना पड़ता है. जो लॉ ऑफ नेचर है कि वट एवर यू वर्क टूवर्ड्स दैट्स वॉट यू विल गेट. बट सिंसियरली इफ यू हैव ए डिज़ायर एंड यू वांट समथिंग, ही विल प्रोवाइड यू दैट. So that's what it was, what we did. And then so let's go to the verse 12. I'll chant. कांक्षन्तः कर्मणां सिद्धिं यजन्त इह देवताः क्षिप्रं हि मानुषे लोके सिद्धिर्भवति कर्मजा. Kangshatah is longing for, karmanam of action, siddhim success, yajante sacrifice, iha in this world, devata is gods, kshipram is quickly, he is because, manushe is human beings, loke is in this world, siddhi is again success, bhavati is attained, karmaja born of action. So the question is then, if moksha is also available and the worldly things are available, why do people go for the ordinary stuff? That's what the logical question will come to our mind. So here he explains that the way our indriyas are outwardly, and the way these indriyas are function, when they come in contact with the objects of the world, the result is very quick. And then we had talked about it. If I want a cup of coffee, I can go and make it, and I feel so good. So these little pleasures that we get with the contact of our senses with the world, they are very quick. That's one reason. And obviously, if we don't know our goal of life, because I was just thinking that, before I joined Chinmaya Mission or I started thinking about all these things or studied Bhagavad Gita, I didn't know what the goal of my life was. I thought it was just, do the job, have a family, have children. That's what we think. We don't think about moksha, right? Most other people don't. But somebody has to tell you, hey, there's something more. That thought does come to our mind. Is there, this is it? But when we are younger, most of us, we are so caught up into everyday life, we don't even think. Some people think, it depends, So that thought may come, may not come, but most of the people, they just kind of act in the world, get the pleasure. And then one of the other problems of karma is that it binds you. So what happens is, I have a desire for something, I strive for it, I get it, I get the result, I get attached to the result, I want it again, I strive again. You see that chakkar? We have learned that how it binds us, and that's why. So you got caught up into it, and also that these results are more tangible. एक रसगुल्ला खाया तो उसका एकदम इफेक्ट होता है, हाँ मजा आ गया. लेकिन अगर कोई मेडिटेशन में बैठा होगा उसमें टाइम लगता है. Right? लगता है कि वो कुछ हो ही नहीं रहा है, you know. That's the difference. That's why a lot of people give up very quickly, you know. Or you know, I believe in God, believe in God. One thing bad happens in your life, I don't believe in God. He's not doing anything for me, you know. See that? So that's the problem, misunderstanding about the world and immediate pleasure. And there is a word here, shipram. Shipram means very quick. So you get very quick results in these. And so that's why what happens is that people just chase worldly stuff constantly, you know. Let's see. And then the other thing that I had mentioned last time was that moksha is a result of knowledge, whereas, you know, all these and people don't want that basically. But action se nahi mil sakta hai moksha. It's a actions, we can do certain actions to purify the mind, true, but action directly will not lead to moksha. It is a knowledge that leads to moksha. So anybody has any question about this concept? Everybody clear on that? Okay, so let's read. Who is a volunteer today for reading? Meera, do you want to read?
They who long for satisfaction from actions in this world make sacrifices to the gods, because satisfaction is quickly obtained from actions in the world of objects.
So here, when he says sacrifice to the gods, these are the chota mota god that we were talking about, huh? Because the context is that. And then we talked about it that even in the world there are other powerful people, and then devatas are there. They're all different levels of them. They are not all the way higher up, but they have some power. So that's who they approach. That's how we have to look at it, huh?
If the Atmika force guides us on both the path of good and on the path of evil, then how is it that in this world of ours we see but a rare few who are honestly trying to travel the path of righteousness, while the majority are pursuing the road of evil? This question must necessarily come to the mind of all intelligent students, and Lord Krishna is answering this possible query. He says, whether the mind wants to pursue an extrovert life or live the introvert joys, it can do so only by borrowing its capacity and capability from the omnipotence of the Atman. But the mind ever chooses an extrovert career in stinking sensuality because it is easy to gain cheap pleasures by satisfying the sensuous tickling of nerve tips.
So yeah, Swamiji uses pretty strong language, you know, that's all. But the concept is the same, that we just go with, you know, small things in the world compared to that moksha. But that's how it is. And then here, when it said pursuing the road of evil, we should not look at this evil as something really horrible. That's not what this context over here is. Evil is basically something that takes us away from God. You know, all the worldly things that get sucked into. Because certain definitions, it may sound strong, but in Vedanta, you know, that has a slightly different meaning. You know.
Identifying ourselves with our matter and envelopments, we attribute to the world of matter certain capacities to satisfy sense desires, and we find that we come to enjoy a fleeting pleasure in contact with objects desired. Here the word deva means the sense organs, which have the capacity to illumine forms, sounds, and so on. Men worship God in the world because they want immediate fruits in terms of pleasure from their activities. Nothing can give us so immediate a reward as bringing the sense organs in contact with its sense objects for which they are thirsting for the time being.
So we discussed that how sense organs immediately when they come in contact, they get some pleasure. you know. And what it is that once we learn that actually that pleasure also, the source is Bhagwan only. That's the main thing that we have to understand. But what happens is that we just forget that these pleasures are temporary. And then amazingly enough, in Kathopanishad, the same chain is going on right now of thought, that Nachiketa ko he's tempting, but all the pleasures, and Nachiketa ka dhyan hai ki bhai, no, these are temporary, I do not want this, you know. So but most of us do get sucked into it. That's what he's saying.
This is the cause for sensuality in the world, and Krishna explains why a majority of us, in spite of our best efforts, live a life of animal passions. Because success resulting from action is quickly attained in the human world.
The same idea.
Same. On this globe of ours, the quickest results are gained when our sense organs come in contact with their desired objects as the result of deliberate actions. Since a sensuous life is a life of least resistance, though of cheap pleasures, the ordinary man, in his keen appetite for joy and peace, wastes his spiritual strength in chasing, procuring, and enjoying the fleeting sense objects. The truth of the statement is well within the experience of every one of us.
So we know this, and I think there is one भज गोविंदम में बहुत क्लियरली बताया गया है कि जो बच्चे होते हैं वो खेल खेल में जीवन बिता देते हैं, जवानी में यू नो चेसिंग द ऑपोजिट सेक्स, टाइम बीत गया, फिर यू नो घर बार चलाने में बीत गया, तो भगवान के बारे में सोचने का टाइम ही नहीं है. You know, that's what happens. We waste all our life because of the, you know, sense gratification.
The passage should not be understood only to say that worldly success is easily gained, but that as men, we can intelligently plan our actions in such a way that we can, by our actions, create or compel nature to yield a greater dose of happiness than the members of the vegetable and animal kingdom.
So this is a very important statement. ये नहीं कि मतलब कुछ भी मेहनत नहीं करो, घर में पड़े रहो तो कुछ मिल जाएगा. That's not what he's saying. All he's saying that humans have been given an extra capacity, more than the vegetable and animal kingdom, that if they put their effort in the worldly things, उनका gain उनके proportion में ज़्यादा है. You know, तभी तो हम ऐसा बड़ा घर बना सकते हैं, ये कर सकते हैं, you know, electric car and फलाना दिख रहा, space station, and God, you saw hundreds of things we can do. That's what he's talking about, that, you know, by putting certain effort intelligently, we have the capacity to gain a lot of. So as far as comfort goes, I think that this era is probably has maxed out of whatever we know, you know, of past, you know, hundreds of years that we know, that कितना comfort हो गया अपने एक phone से हमको सब कुछ मिल जाता है अभी, you know, right? But these are just, we know that these are temporary things. You know, how much can you enjoy? After a while, it just, and we will actually touch upon the exact same subject in Kathopanishad. That's where we'll go a little more on detail, because he's talking about that things in those verses that we'll be doing. So it will be a good complement to it. So any question on this? Comment, question, or you want to add anything? Everybody understood this concept, right? So that connecting paragraph is there for the next verse. You want to read that? You have that in your book, right?
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Men who are seeking the lower or the higher ways of life through the employment of their spiritual strength can be divided upon the broad basis of their introvert and extrovert natures. And the extrovert men can again be divided into 4 types on the basis of the finer distinctions of the textures of their thought and action.
So, अब जो next verse है ना, that is the most controversial, lot of time misunderstood, and has because it was misunderstood, it created havoc in India about the caste system. So that's the verse that's coming. But what is the connection to the next verse? So here the Swamiji, the way he's explaining it, that there are two kind of people, introvert and extrovert, right? Introvert to chale gaye apne andar and trying to find God, so that's no problem. Extrovert mein kaun se log hain, okay? So the context is there, and so this is a little bit a complicated verse, but I will try my best to कि क्यों भगवान ने ये डाला और that reason also. And then we also, हम लोग ने काफ़ी discussion थोड़ा बहुत किया हुआ है, right? कि चार वर्ण को कैसे confuse किया था, but we can go a little more on detail. But another thing I want to tell you that here he's not talking too much in detail about the gunas, but there are a couple of chapters going to come in Bhagavad Gita. We'll go in huge detail about what these gunas are, because it is something like this. If I have a car, the more I know about it, even the engine, how it works and all, the more it will benefit me, And then nowadays they have this little dashboard they have put over there, so I can see the health of the car, right? कि भाई इसमें oil कम है या कुछ ये है वो है, then I can drive properly. So the same thing about our body and mind and intellect. These are the tools that Bhagwan gave us. We should know how they function, what is happening, what is my health of my mind, where it is going, what is expressing through my mind. Then if I do need to make an adjustment, I can. And then we have to understand what these gunas are also. So what is the context from the previous verse? It is the people have to act in the world, right? How to act so that I become free from bondage, right? That's what our goal is now. But to act correctly so that I come out of that karma bandhan. You know what is karma bandhan, right? Karma bandhan is that bondage that is created by karma, because I get the result, I get attached to the action and the result, and the chakkar keeps going on and on and on. How do I break it? In the process of breaking it, first I have to understand my temperaments. What is happening within me in my mind? And I think that's how Sadhguru talks about inner engineering, right? He talks कि भाई engineering, अंदर का engineering को कैसे fix करो so that तुम अपना use कर सकते हो. The same idea is over here also. So let's talk about this now. The three gunas. Firstly, the entire Prakriti is made of 5 elements, right? But उसका जो building block है ना 5 element का, वो है वो 3 gunas. Okay. So now the word is used as Chatur Varna. Use kiya the word. Okay. So I think that first let me chant it. I didn't chant it yet, right? So let's go over that. Yeah. Everybody 13. Chatur Varnyam Maya Srushtam Gunakarma Vibhagashah Tasya Kartaram Apimam Vidya Kartaram Avyayam. So Chatur Varnyam, the 4-fold caste. So here the Chatur means char, Varna means class bolo ya color. Okay. Varna means color also. But uska Varna, white hai ya black hai or something. Varna is color. Why did they use this word Varna over here? Because जो 3 गुना है ना, उनको color से भी represent किया जाता है. I think सभी को पता होगा शायद कि जो राजसिक, जो सात्विक है उसको white color दिया गया है. Because white color is a representation of peace and quiet and that kind of thing. राजसिक को लाल दिया गया, passion is red. And तामसिक को dull and this and that black. Okay, so उसको वर्ण because of the 3 color. That's why it's called Chatur Varna. Okay, so that's the word. And then Maya is by me. Srushtam has been created. So here Bhagwan says that these Varna are created by me, but there's a very deep meaning in it. And the problem that happened in India, that people just read this and full stop. They didn't go to the next part of the same line in the same shloka. That's where all the havoc was created. Oh, Bhagwan ne char varna banaye. And then they started fighting with each other. Oh, मैं Brahmin, tu Shudra, tu whatever. You know. I don't need to tell you. You can spend hours and hours fighting over it. But so आगे क्या बोला? Guna karma vibhagashah. This is the most important thing in this. By the division of guna and karma. So guna is the three temperaments, okay, सात्विक, राजसिक, तामसिक, उनका जो मिक्सचर होता है उससे हमारे गुण बनते हैं और हमारा टेम्परामेंट, उसके अनुसार ये विभाजन हुआ है. That's what he's saying. Okay, number one. And guna and karma. Karma is action. But it's extremely logical thing कि जैसा गुण होएगा वैसा ही एक्शन होगा. Everybody agrees? जैसा मेरा टेम्परामेंट होगा वैसा मैं एक्ट करूँगी ना. अगर मेरा बहुत गुस्से वाला टेम्परामेंट है, मैं बात में गुस्सा करूँगी. मेरा शांत होएगा तो मैं हर एक चीज़ शांति से करूँगी. Majority of the time, and then we will understand that another thing that we will go in detail with, these gunas are, all three gunas are in everybody. So when we say that person is sattvic, we should not understand कि उसमें दो गुण है ही नहीं वो दूसरे. No, सभी उनके बिना कोई जीवित ही नहीं रह सकता. या पूरी सृष्टि में वो तीन गुण सभी में है, उनका प्रोपोर्शन अलग हो जाता है, तो एक गुण ज़्यादा एक्सप्रेस होता है. That's what it means. Okay, so that's another very important point that we should remember. Okay, so the next word is so guna karma vibhagashah means according to the differentiation of guna and karma. Tasya is thereof. Kartaram is the author or करने वाला या create करने वाला. Karta or akarta, there are two words. So he's saying, I'm the author. And we will see why he's saying that. Api is also, Mam is me, Vidhi is to know, means you should know that I am akartaram, non-doer, avyayam, immutable. So I am immutable and I am akartaram, non-doer. Okay, I am immutable and never change. One steady thing, the highest level. And that brings me just a quick reference to the fact that we were talking about, hey, who God is and all that. These are the indicative definition of God. If Kamalaji is there and if she's listening, there are so indicative definitions are in chapter 2 also. Maybe in the last half an hour we can discuss a little bit if somebody doesn't have any other question. Because that's who God is. आप पूछ रहे थे ना God कौन है, तो अगर आपको वेदांत की तरफ से अंडरस्टैंड करना है तो आपको वो इंडिकेटिव डेफिनेशन में जाना पड़ेगा. सो दो तो यहाँ पर ही बता दी, नॉन डूअर एंड इम्यूटेबल. ओके, सो नाउ द क्वेश्चन इज कि what is this fourfold classification? So I think everybody kind of already knows a little bit, but we will go in detail. So predominantly किसी का जो सात्विक जिसमें ज़्यादा होगा वो ब्राह्मण होगा. Predominantly, that means he has other two also, but it is of less. क्षत्रिय में predominantly राजसिक ज़्यादा होता है, but उसमें a good amount of सत्वा होता है. Okay? That's why he has all these qualities, and we will little bit discuss what those qualities are. वैश्य में सात्व कम होता है और क्या बोलते हैं, रजस और तमस ज़्यादा है. That's what वैश्य is. And then Shudra is the one who has more tamas in it. But according to Krishna Bhagwan, everybody can reach that moksha. Okay? So why he's telling you this? Because you should remember we talked about Swadharma. That's where this context comes. What is my Swadharma? Because if I act according to my Swadharma and learn the technique of dedicating it to God, my actions, I can purify my mind. Because unfortunately I'm born with certain tendencies and I cannot get away from it. That's why he told Arjun, when Arjun said, I don't want to fight, he said, it's not in your nature not to fight. This is a dharma yuddha. This is the field for you to exhaust your vasanas. Otherwise, you will go on the Himalayas and start cutting the tree and fighting with somebody over there, because fight करना तेरे खून में है. तो कोई अच्छी चीज के लिए fight करना फिर. That's That's what it is, the Swadharma comes. But Arjun wanted to sit and meditate, and he's telling you not ready for it because your nature is not for meditating. That's what it is. So by understanding these four varnas and what is expressing, and then if I do want to make certain adjustment, certain things are, by practicing you can. So there are many different these are, nothing is in a box here. That's another thing we have to understand. It's not like, oh, I want to be sattvic person, so I have to give up those other two gunas. In fact, one of the Swamis was, explained that each person has all the three gunas and we can make use of all three gunas, kind of in a proper way. Because guna there are negative aspects of the guna and there are kind of good aspects of the gunas. Because even the Shudra, when you say, who are the Shudras? We think, oh, log, nothing like that. They have certain, what their quality is? उनको वो जो तुम बोलोगे ना, वो करेगा वो अपना दिमाग नहीं लगाएगा. See that what the difference is? That he will be more like lazy. Example is that, some person in the family doesn't want to get up. Just watch TV, some other person says, hey, get up and go do this. फिर वो भाग के करके आएगा, फिर आके फिर लेजी बन जाएगा, right? पर जो सात्विक होता है वो खुद सोचेगा मेरे को ये करना है, और जो राजसिक होएगा वो तो बहुत एक्टिंग, मतलब इज वेरी एक्टिव. सो और सेवा का भाव होता है शूद्र में, he is very easily surrenders to somebody. Hey, yeah, you tell me what to do, I'll do it. So see the good aspect of in the Shudra. That's what we have to understand, that what it is. Okay. So another very important thing, that this is only by guna and karma, right? Nowhere it said that is by birth. So then you can see that how much problem it has created in India by making it by birth, because it is possible that a boy or a girl born in a Brahmin family, where the father is Brahmin, the mother is Brahmin, but his tendencies may be like Shudra. It's 100% possible. And also that they could be very, in a worst case scenario, the parents may be very, very good, but the child may be like a Rakshasa, or exactly opposite. The parents may be Rakshasa, but the child may be very, very pious. And we have a Prahlad story, that how Prahlad was like a son of Rakshasa, but he was very like a Brahmin only. He was like a Brahmin boy, because he was all the time, Brahman में चरत जो चरता है, मतलब विचरण करता है, उसको ब्राह्मण बोलते हैं. So that's what it is. And the other example is, in the same family you can have all different things. And the classic example is Ravan. Ravan, Kumbhakaran and Vibhishan. Ravan was Rajasic. So that's why I said उसको कोई चीज़ से चैन नहीं मिलता था. ये भी मिल जाए, वो भी मिल जाए, दूसरे की बीवी भी मिल जाए, उसको धन चाहिए था तो वो कुबेर का जाके उठा लाया, उसका विमान उठा लाया और उसकी लंका छीन ली वगैरह वगैरह. That's Rajasic, competition, and I want this, I want that. उसका भाई कुंभकर्ण was Tamasic. They have other qualities too, okay? So don't misunderstand, but predominantly that's why you're sleeping 6 months in a year. Wake up, eat food, and go back to sleep. Nidra or bhojan. That's, typical of and then his other brother was Satvik, Vibhishan. So एक family में तीन हो सकते हैं. So that really shatters this idea कि भाई ब्राह्मण का बेटा ब्राह्मण ही होगा. No way, Jose. Chances are there because genes are there, environment is there, training is there. But in spite of that, if their tendencies by birth is something else, it's not going to be. So that's what is a very important thing to understand. So now the question is that just little bit, we won't go too much in detail about the three gunas, but to get an idea, whoever has not studied the other part of Bhagavad Gita, that how does Sattva Guna express? It expresses as happiness, knowledge, wisdom, peace, faith, quietude, calmness. All these things are expression of Sattva. Now you know why we want to be more in Sattva, because these are everybody wants to be this. What is Rajogun ka quality, or how does it express in us? Activity, agitation. Agitation can be good or bad. Okay, they are good agitators. मुझे ये करना है, वो करना है, to accomplish anything we need some rajoguna in us, तो सभी लोग बैठ के meditate ही करते रहेंगे, दुनिया कौन चलाएगा फिर, so we need that. So it's like activity, agitation, lot of desire, and then with that desire package, unfortunately, negative things do come. Pride, jealousy, anger, fear, competition, all these things come. So they are all part of the Rajoguna. Okay, and then what is Tamoguna? Lethargy, laziness, grief, sadness, indolence. I don't feel like doing it. All that comes because Tamoguna is expressing in us. So now the question is, if you observe your own life, forget about the own life. एक दिन में different moods express. When we are very, very tired and sometimes I don't want to do anything, I don't want to get up, Tamogun is expressing. And I want to do this, I want to do that, Rajogun is expressing. And I'm feeling very peaceful, I want to sit and meditate, Satogun is expressing. See that? So if one day also, all three can express, and if I know the mechanism of it, then I will know what is expressing. So now the question is, each one has a predominant temperament, or out of these three gunas, they are predominantly that. That's where you pick up your swadharma and act on. So that's why we should know about this division of this. And the other thing is, one aspect I want to bring it up is, for the society to function, you need all four. Otherwise, society cannot function. That is very, very important thing, because if you say सभी सात्विक हो जाएं predominantly और सभी बैठ के meditate करें, कोई शादी वादी नहीं करेगा, कोई दुनिया नहीं चलने वाली फिर. And there was a problem that happened, it seems, in the Puranas. There is a story that जब जो सृष्टि बनने वाली थी, तो ब्रह्मा जी ने अपने मानस पुत्र को जन्म दिया, और वो सारे के सारे 100% सात्विक, कोई शादी करने को तैयार नहीं, कुछ नहीं. फिर the stories there, Adam and Eve का भी similar kind of stories there. So you need all four to function the society, and then you need people, to plan and do all that. But that's like a Brahmana quality, research and all that. And then you need people to execute. All the people who are, government wale jo hote hain, or like we need to execute whatever has been planned. The execution. So Kshatriya. And then Vaishya is creating money. Without creating money and producing things and farming and all that, we cannot sustain. Kitna bhi koi kuch kar le, research करके shelf पे डाल दे, वो उससे पेट तो नहीं भरने वाला. So you need that. फिर you need workers. So think about a company also. A company, a big company needs all four. You need visionaries, people who are on the top. You need executive branch, CEOs and all that. You need financial branch, because without finances, there's nothing is going to happen. And then all तीनों है, worker नहीं है, तो उसका कुछ नहीं होने वाला. Okay, I think Sneha, you have to mute yourself.
Okay.
So those are the things. Our body cannot function without all four. Because head, we have to think and all that. Shoulders, we need strength to execute. Stomach is a one, अपना पूरा खाना वाना पचाना, पूरे जैसे बोलते हैं ना, supply chain to the rest of they have all these modern words are there, but that happens in our body too. And without legs, we cannot move. What are we going to do? Just sit there, feel sorry for ourselves? So you need all four. So let's look at the part where he said, I am the author of it, or I have created it. The context is the entire world is expression of God only. Through the Maya, this thing is created. Within that context, it's saying that everything has come from him only. Whether it is Brahman or Kshatriya or whichever mood people are in, everything is Bhagwan only from that perspective. And then in the same breath, in the next one, he says, know me as non-doer and immutable. Now he's talking about from the complete highest perspective of Brahman, of, like जो बोलते हैं ना कि परमात्मा, उस status में से he is a non-doer because we all learned that Prakriti is the one which does everything in the presence of that Brahman. And the example I gave was in the presence of sunlight we act. But the sunlight is not acting, we are acting. But it's enabling us to act. That's how we have to look at it. So at the level of the sunlight is a non-doer. That's what it means. Okay? So, and the other example is space. We require space to exist. It allows us to exist, but it doesn't interfere in what we do. So the space is a non-doer. So it's a little tough concept, but if you think about it, it's simple also. So that's why it's a non-doer. Immutable. And why it is non-doer? Because immutable. Space cannot go anywhere. Space cannot move. Same way, the consciousness is all pervading. All pervading thing cannot move, and that's why I cannot do anything. But in the presence of it, everything is done. So that's why it's the non-doer. So that's what this whole thing is. And then there is one, एक पुरुष सुक्तम करके एक text है, शास्त्र है, पुरुष सुक्तम. I think that maybe Meena ji might know about it, because Chinmaya Mission sometimes they do, no? So उसमें this is one of those things. How you express this concept can be different way of expressing it, but if you take it out of context, people can misuse it. Very dangerous thing. That's why I say little knowledge is a dangerous thing. So उसमें ऐसा कहा गया है कि भगवान के मुख से ब्राह्मण आए, भगवान के शोल्डर से क्षत्रिय, उनकी थाई से वैश्य, और पैरों से, feet से शूद्र. So how they explain, because the whole universe is Bhagwan only. So as though the group of people who are the Brahmins are his face. See that you take it ulta. And the group of people who are like Kshatriya, as though they are Bhagwan's arms, because उन्हीं के द्वारा काम होता है ना भगवान का सभी का. So that's what you have to look at it that way, and not कि वो उससे पैदा हुए, because in your different janmas you can change the quality of your texture also of your, even in the same janma. There are stories in India. Everybody has heard the story of Valmiki. He was a lutera, and then फिर वो राम राम बोलने से नारद जी ने उसको मंत्र दिया, and he became Valmiki, and he wrote Ramayan. Same life में you can change. So it nothing is like a fixed thing where I cannot change, So this is the whole concept of the four varnas.
So Umaji, I have a question.
Yeah.
For maybe discussion later then. Because later on in the Gita, he says that it is better to do one's own duty imperfectly than to do someone else's duty perfectly. So that's very...
I think that, we will have to discuss that. Maybe we can do, because when you say that word imperfectly, we have to understand in the right context. He said, basic idea over there is, even if your duty doesn't look that great, Bhagwan says you should be daksh in everything. He already said it in chapter 3, that you should do it in a very efficient manner. So even if you're a garbage man, you be the best garbage man. So then we should not misunderstand over there like that. But if you're, for example, a person who is like given a job of executing somebody, give a death injection. Sounds such horrible job, right? But that's what he said. If he's meant for that, it's better he does that than to go and become a doctor and do something, because he's not meant for it. That's what it meant. But we can discuss that. It's not a problem. Because
when he's talking about the thing about the four, that the face is the Brahma, and what is Vaishya? Which body part of God?
वैश्य थाई से पैदा हुआ है, उन्होंने कहा. Thigh or stomach area. Yeah, I mean, what it is that if you understand the basic concept behind it, उसको कैसे explain किया गया है, वो भी समझ में आ जाएगा फिर. That's what, if you don't, like this verse, when I learned this verse first time, it was such a big eye-opener. Because Krishna Bhagavan is saying, Gurna Karma Vibhagashaha. it is by guna and karma. Birth का तो नाम ही नहीं आया वहाँ पे. पता नहीं कहाँ से वो लेके आ गए वो लोग. I have no clue. The only thing I can think of is because the possibility is more. If you are born in a certain family, because of the environment, genes and training, the possibility becomes more कि ब्राह्मण का बेटा ब्राह्मण ही होगा. उसको संस्कार वैसे मिलेंगे. But उसमें कोई गारंटी बिल्कुल नहीं दी है कि भाई वो होगा. You know, and then we gave the example that एक family में भी different लोग हो सकते हैं. You know, so. And then the other question is what is the context of this verse? One more context of this verse is, earlier Bhagavan said that by understanding my janma and karma, तुमको भी मोक्ष मिल सकता है, right? तो इसमें उन्होंने बोला मैं करते हुए भी करता नहीं हूँ. So it's a little bit difficult concept. On one hand, I've created this caste, but I'm a non-doer. So और मैंने जन्म लिया लेकिन फिर भी मैं अजन्मा हूँ. Okay, so we have to understand what he's saying, and if we understand very deeply tatvatah by its essence what he's saying, हमको भी मोक्ष मिल सकता है by understanding his janma and karma, because my janma and karma is also same way, that by मैं जन्म लेते हुए भी अजन्मी हूँ because I was like at that pure level, I am that Paramatma or Atma, right? And मैं करते हुए भी मैं अकर्ता हूँ. If I become a non-doer, if I do in a mode of non-doer, when I don't have the ego about acting and all that, then, so that's why he's saying this verse, that understanding ki way, it is like guna and karma, I'm the author, but I'm a non-doer. That's where most important thing. So let's see, we still have some time for Gita. So, oh yeah, we have to read. I forgot about that. Because this is such a, it used to create so much discussion in our class, because most of the children who are, other people think they are Hindu children, some time or the other they have been approached with this question. Hey, what is this caste system? You guys have caste system. But the irony is, Bhagwan is not talking about Bharatvarsh only. This classification is humanity classification, which they just completely disregard, because in this country also, we are everywhere, जहाँ भी humans पैदा होंगे, वहाँ पर ये classification होगा ही होगा. In fact, one of the Swamis was mentioning that the whole universe has this classification. Even in the animal kingdom, you have this. Firstly, you cannot get away with 3 gunas. You are made up of it. That's the raw material of yours. But उनका जो proportion है, उसके हिसाब से तुम्हारा behavior होता है. That's why it is all the jeev, jantu, everybody has this thing. So this is a very wrong idea that only India has a class system, because we have made it so ugly, and that's why people keep questioning that. Otherwise, it's a very extremely scientific.
I have one comment, which is really looking at this thing not at a one life level, but if you look at the multiple life levels. So every one of us has gone through in previous lives. We may be a Shudra, we may be a Vaishya, we may be a Sattvic, and nothing is duplicated. So what you have already done, you don't do it again. The main idea is you are moving towards moksha through all your lives. So just to say that you have to be Sattvic to go to moksha is not the only thing that happens.
See, I have a little bit of not disagreement तो नहीं बोलना चाहिए, but एक view ये है मेरा, because I go more by what Bhagavad Gita says, Bhagavad Vedanta says, that every life you have a chance for moksha. So, and the question is, that's why I mentioned that does that mean that Shudras cannot have? No, I told you that of every guna there is a good aspect too. So the Shudra can take the seva bhav and make it so good and dedicate that seva bhav to the highest. And I will give you a...
No, good and bad is our classification.
True. Okay, forget about the word.
Because Raman got moksha because he got killed because he was so bad.
No, I
So,
know, but uska to phir we have to go behind stories, true. So all I'm trying to say over here is this. No matter what gunas you are born with, according to Bhagavad Gita, if you follow this journey that he's talking about, you can get moksha. You don't have to wait so many lives. Oh, I have to experience this also, that. That's where I differ with you a little bit, Gujo, okay? Because
I believe in destiny. I don't believe that all this we are doing is going to make a big difference. The only reason we are doing because we are destined to do that.
okay, so I think that
Don't be bad about it.
I'm not expressing anything of my opinion here. Yeah, I do believe in Bhagavad Gita, but whenever I say something, I am bringing it out from Bhagavad Gita, from whatever I have learned. And for this class, that's a better thing to do in my opinion. At least try to understand from one end to the other the entire Bhagavad Gita and then form your opinions.
No, but even in Bhagavad Gita, he told the Maran Vidya, which says, no matter who you are, you can follow this Om thing and become merge and get your moksha.
Well, if you understand that correctly, it sounds very simple, right? It sounds
I
like,
didn't say it was simple. I said,
no, let me tell you,
mathematics.
because the thing is that it's better to know the context of it, because in Bhagavad Gita nothing is simple, okay? Because it's a deeper subject. So if there is one